Hey, happy Wednesday. It's Jeff here. How are you doing? Hope that your week is going well, and I hope that you've been taking care of your car. It's time for my COVID car care tip of the week. Hey, last time we were together, we talked about cleaning the inside of your engine compartment, and this week I want to talk about cleaning the inside of your car. Think about it. When was the last time you gave the interior of your car a little love? Right? It's probably been a while, hasn't it? A little elbow grease will go a long ways with this. Now, we're not talking about detailing. We're just talking about giving it a nice clean. So I want to give you a 3-step process. Step 1, clean the interior surfaces. Clean the windows with a little glass cleaner. And for the other surfaces, the dash and other interior surfaces, use something that's made for that. Something like Meguiar's or Armor All. It's going to clean it, it's going to protect it, and it's going to give it a nice shine. Step 2, vacuum, right? Vacuum the seats, vacuum the carpet, get all of that stuff up. And then finally, step 3, do some spot cleaning. After you vacuum, you might find a spot on your seat or in your carpet. Use something that's made for upholstery and carpet and spray it on there, dab it up, and you should be good to go, right? Simple little process, not going to take you a lot of time, but your car will thank you for it. Now this week I wanted to give a novice an opportunity to show what she can do. So why don't you watch this and let's see how good she does at cleaning the interior of her car. Hey, you know, one of the things that your car is most upset about is when nobody gives it any love on the inside. And so this week, there's a challenge given to somebody that I am not related to at all to see if she could clean the inside of her car for the first time ever. And so I just want to give you a before and after, and we'll see how happy the car is after this. So let's just take a little look-see at what the car looks like. Pretty nice. It's not a happy car whatsoever. And so let's just kind of see if anything happens. Okay, so we have our first question.
Does this go in this side or this side?
Because it's easier to learn for yourself than be told. Turn that button on and see which side sucks and which side blows. Boom. There we go. First lesson. All right, so tell us what you did.
I cleaned my car.
Ooh, looks pretty good. So what kinds of products did you use on this?
A vacuum and cleaning spray. That's it.
Cleaning spray. Did you use the Armor All or anything?
No.
You know what Armor All is?
No.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you very much for the experiment today. This is Jeff out. Okay, so what's going on in the life of the church? Well, I have some great news for you. Now that we're in phase 2, we're excited that student ministries is allowed to start meeting again. And so, in fact, last night, middle school came together. Tonight, high school are going to be meeting together. And that's pretty awesome. That's pretty fun. Now we're still operating under some restrictions, which means there's a limit in terms of the size of under 50 people, as well as wearing masks and social distancing and all of that. But still, we're moving in the right direction, and it's pretty fun to have student ministries begin to start meeting. Speaking of that, I just want to let you know about something that we're planning. I'm so looking forward to doing with you, and that is this. On Sunday, July 5th, we're going to be doing Church in the Field. We're going to be doing outdoor services in the field across from the street. And I'm so looking forward to that. When we gather there, that's going to be the first time in a somewhat larger group that we will have met in over 3 months. And I can't wait to do that. So we're going to be on Sunday, July 5th, doing 3 services in the field outside. So please pray for good weather. And here's the thing, we're still operating under some regulations, right? And so that means we have a limit on the number of people who can be there, a maximum of 100 people. So that's why we're doing 3 services. And if those 3 fill up, we will do a 4th service. But right now we're planning 3. And so here's what you need to do. You need to sign up. You can't just show up. You have to sign up so we can regulate how many people are going to be in each service. And every head counts, right? So when you sign up online, you need to identify how many members of your family And so please, after this video, you can go in and you can sign up and be a part of that service. Please do it sooner than later so we can make appropriate planning for that weekend. Now, again, as we come together, you're going to need to wear a mask. We're going to need to social distance. There's not going to be hugging and handshaking and that kind of stuff yet, but we are going to be worshiping together, and it's going to be awesome. So look forward to doing that. Please sign up as we look forward to on July 5th coming together and doing church outside, all right? Hey, just one last thing, just to be an encouragement to you. I've been in school and in the class that, and hopefully I'm finishing up today, actually. We've been talking about this concept of finishing well in life and in ministry. Right? What does it look like to finish well? And especially as a Christ follower, what does it look like to kind of run this race to the very end? And I was sort of drawn to a passage of Scripture where Paul is writing to the next generation of leaders, Timothy, and he's saying this as Paul looks at his own life as it's kind of coming to an end, and he says this, and he writes this in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7. Listen to this. He writes, "I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have loved his appearing." Isn't that awesome? Paul writes, "I've fought the good fight. I've finished the race." And that is so encouraging to me because, right now, all of us are sort of walking through one of those seasons of life where the race feels long. And maybe for some of us, we're feeling kind of weary, kind of tired. And we need to remember that this race is not a sprint. It is a marathon. And sometimes in the middle of that race, you get tired and weary and run down, and you just don't feel like running anymore. And in fact, sometimes you come to a place where you're not running. But my encouragement is keep moving forward, even if your pace is slowed to a walk. Now, I've never run a marathon. Frankly, I never plan on running a marathon. But if I did, I'm quite sure there would be many times along the route where I would slow down, and I would just count it a plus if I was moving. If I was moving in the right direction and I was just making some progress and walking. And I think sometimes in this journey of life, we come to those times in our lives where we feel weary, where the race feels long, and we just need to slow, even to the pace of a walk, to catch our breath, to remind ourselves of what we believe and why we believe it, and to press in to God. And Paul came to this place at the end of the race, and he said, hey, I've run it, I've finished it. And he's anticipating this crown of righteousness at the end of it all. I think that sometimes for some reason, I don't know what this is in us, but in those times when we feel weary, we often default to walking alone. I'm not sure why in those moments when we most need God that we have a tendency to push him away and say, I've got this. But I just want to encourage you, wherever you're at in this season of life, whether through this time you felt weary or tired for a multitude of reasons, maybe just because of what's going on in our world, maybe because of some interior things that are going on in your heart, maybe some challenging relationships have surfaced during this time and you just feel tired and like you can't finish the race. I want to encourage you, even if you're just walking, to continue moving forward. See, I've come to this conclusion. You say, well, Jim, that's all great, like finish the race. Thanks for the pep talk, but what does that mean? Well, here's what I've concluded. For those of us who know and love Jesus, I've concluded this, that the single most important aspect of finishing well is walking with Jesus, walking closely with Jesus to the very end. I'm convinced that that's the most important thing. There's all kinds of aspects to our Christian lives, ways that we serve, ways that we engage, but I'm convinced that our personal walk with Jesus to the very end is what's really going to help us finish well. And so I want to encourage you to walk close with him. And what that means to me, most importantly, is investing time every day, sometime, even at the pace of a walk, investing some time to be with Jesus, to listen to what he has to say to you from his word, to talk with him, to pour out your concerns and your cares and your worship, and to say, Jesus, will you help me today to walk with you? And I'm convinced that if we can do that day in and day out, when the pace is fast and when the pace is slow, that we will finish well. And so I just want to encourage you in this season, wherever you're at, would you press into him? Would you press in? I trust that he's going to walk us through this season. And I'm looking forward to what he has on the other side of this. Now here's the thing. I have no idea. You have no idea where you're at in the race, right? I might be on mile 25, or I might be halfway through. I have no idea. The point is this. Today, walk close with Jesus. Press into him. And if you do, today, tomorrow, the next, then I'm convinced that you're going to finish well. And so will I. So let's press into that these days. I pray God's blessing over you, and I look forward to seeing you this weekend. God bless you.